Greetings everyone, my name is Fro. I've spent about 15 years in the tech space and I make video tutorials to help you be AI ready. Today we're going to talk about the Hermes Agent desktop app. Hermes Agent is extremely popular as a harness for leveraging AI, and it's been delivered as a CLI, but as of recent they really had this desktop application which is extremely compelling. So what I'll do today is jump right in with a quick demonstration, a quick walkthrough to showcase what the UI looks like. And is this something you might be considering switching to, especially if you use like a Cloud desktop or a Codex desktop app? This seems to be kind of playing in that space and extremely appealing. Now, if you're getting started, you're going to go over, for me, I have Mac, and I believe it detected that. I'm not convinced there's a Windows version. It seems like there's just a Mac version. So depending on what you have, just go ahead and download that. Once you have it downloaded, it installs on your desktop, and you should have the icon showcasing down for you to launch the app. So I'm launching the app here. I've been in testing it just to do a quick overview of what the layout looks like. So that's what I'm going to do here real quick to show you that. Now, I love the simplicity of it, very minimalist, more akin to the Codex desktop app, in my opinion, compared to the Cloud desktop app. So to the left side, you have the navigation, so typical iOS app designs. To the right, you have your settings, and below you have the chat interface, and then in here are your profiles. So these profiles will carry over from the Hermes CLI if you've used that CLI, or even the Hermes unofficial desktop app, which I've also done demos. You would find the concept of the profiles, which I've talked about, and then below are your model selections. So let's just walk through that. Coming in, you can click on a new session and simply chat. So if I do hello, here I've done that quite a bit. It will chat and give you a response. Now, what most people would appreciate about this is, unlike Claude, where you are limited to the Claude models, or Codex, where you potentially limited to the Codex models, with this, you have the model optionality. So here it tells you the tokens used so far. I can't believe just with a simple hello, I'm burning through that amount of input and output tokens. But here, what you want to see is the availability of model options. So there is Opus models. There is Olama, if you have that, for more open source models. And then if you're on the Gemini, on the Open AI side, you will have Open AI models. I'll talk about this here more shortly. Now, going back to my left side here, you can change sessions as you see fit. And then this also brings your skills and your tools. If you've installed the CLI or the on the official desktop version of Hermes, all the skills and tools that you have in there will come across. So I've talked quite a bit about my list of skills for automation and different things to manage my life. So those skills essentially are being read and brought into this. So it's really in my .ai folder to bring that. Yours might look a little bit different depending on what skills you have. So I have quite a bit of skills for different things. And what I love about this is my skills are grouped into flows and tasks and applications. All of that is respected here, which is really, really good to see. And you can search for skills. Now, for most people, they might be interested in the software development skill. And in that case, you will have those skills here to plan and interact as such. For those that are interested, toggle on a skill or toggle it on to make it available as you see fit. So that's what the skill does. And then there are tool sets into here as well. I think tools, I usually don't play with this that much. I think it's always standard for me what tools are available. Now, messaging, I think this is, most people will use tools like Hermes or even OpenClaw becoming popular because of the messaging interface, where you can decouple from your machine and use Telegram to chat with your agents, or use Slack to chat with your agents. So it does bring those from a more visual perspective. There's very analogous to OpenClaw if you've played with that. So you click on, if you use Telegram, click on Telegram and go through the configuration. Clearly, I haven't done the configuration yet. For those that are more Slack oriented, you click on that and get that set up. I was very impressed to see the list here. So Twilio for SSMS, emails, WhatsApp, Signal. So quite a bit of options available to get that setup done. Now, artifacts is an interesting one. I haven't played with this quite a bit. I'm not sure if these are artifacts from your conversations or if these are artifacts like, or you created an app and you can pin that app here as an artifact. So more to come on this once I get the chance to play with that. And then these are the different sessions. So clearly, I've just been doing some basic tests with the sessions. Now, to my right would be the settings. I think this is where it becomes really interesting. Here you would see the models. So clearly, Anthropic is, by default, this was the model way up there. I don't think I even selected this. And it gives you the Anthropic models, and that can work. Now, I know there will be a question which, can you use your Anthropic subscription for this? Based on what I'm seeing, the answer to it is no. And I think people coming from OpenClaw already know that the answer is a no. Anthropic is clamping down on that. So if you have a subscription, which I do, it just is looking like you cannot use that here, unfortunately. But I'll show you how to authenticate in a little bit. Now, select your default models. For those that are more open source, you can go Ollama. I think my Ollama is on running. If not, I might turn it on. But you have the optionality of picking the models of your choice. So let's keep it at this one, apply that. What was also interesting is that there is this concept of one size doesn't fit all. I think we've all come to the point of expecting Anthropic. As a matter of fact, Anthropic doesn't have image models as we know it. They don't have vision or video models. So you cannot expect one model to do it all. And I was fascinated with the approach here of having a different selection for, say, a vision model. And you can go ahead and change that to get a different provider to do vision for this, or web extraction, or just for MCPs to manage your MCP routing and title generation or curation. So I thought that was very interesting, especially for the vision perspective, because vision models could be completely different from just the regular models. And I think this is more vision models to read more so than vision models to generate text, but still just something to keep in mind that that's available as an option. And then in here, from the chat perspective, you can change the personality of your chat, keep it creative, kawaii. I'm not sure what personality that is, to be honest. Pirate, Shakespeare. So you have the options to change that from a visual perspective. Appearance, several appearance. The one I'm using right now is a new appearance, but you can go to Amber, Cyberpunk, Mono, Slate, and Midnight. And then you can also go dark mode for those who prefer it that way, for the different options. So you can go dark on that. Pretty interesting. For now, let me keep it with this node just to keep the demo consistent, but the options are there too as well. Easy on the eyes when you go on the darker one, so I really appreciate that. On the workspace, this is just a working directory, nothing to write home about. Safety is also available in here. Memory context is here. What was interesting is I don't see a way of bringing your own memory. So if you use, M0 for memory management or some other thing, it doesn't seem like you can bring it here, but something to keep an eye on. And then voice also is supported. You can have voice chat, and the TTS provider is Edge, or you can use 11 Labs. Let's see if we go to 11 Labs. Does it ask for an API key? I think at some point it's going to ask for an API key for 11 Labs. So just keep in mind, 11 Labs is extremely powerful. And then you can scroll down in for the different models that you can support. Some advanced settings provider. So this is I think probably the most important piece here for your daily driver. If you are in the Claude ecosystem and you prefer using Claude models, you're going to want to authenticate here with Claude to use that for chatting. So if I went into chat and I'm chatting, you saw me go below here to pick the Claude model, you need to authenticate. And it's extremely easy. Of course, No is research recommending their models because they do have some. So click on that. It will take you to a way to sign. You can get your $20 a month. I honestly haven't subscribed. You can tell. I think I'm logged in. I just haven't subscribed for that. And it says it gives you 300 plus models. So maybe that's worth it for those of you that are subscribed. That could be an option. Alternatively, you can go the Anthropic route, and this will authenticate into Anthropic. I'll do this right away. don't bother copying this key. I'll delete this right afterwards. So paste your authorization key right here, and you will be authenticated into it, and you can start chatting with this model. So one thing you're going to want to do is when you authenticate with this, you're going to want to go to your Anthropic portal. And I'm trying to not go in there for now just to show what subscriptions I have in there. But you'll go in there and make sure you pay for the API subscription, because without that, it wouldn't work. And you can see I've tried it and it doesn't work. Next is the API keys. If you use OpenRouter, I think quite a bit of people use OpenRouter. You can bring all your models from OpenRouter here just simply by pasting the OpenRouter key. Click on that, authenticate into OpenRouter, and grab the key that way. That's another option. I think OpenRouter might actually be a really compelling approach just because of the amount of models available in OpenRouter or XAI or Gemini, DeepSeek, Kimi, Minimax. So your run-of-the-mill models are all available in here, all the way down to Azure Foundry actually is available. I don't see AWS Bedrock, but Azure Foundry is in there. All right, so those are the providers. Now my provider is, I'm going to use the Anthropic one just because I think that's one I have some tokens available to use. So have that authenticated. And then gateway in here will just allow, I haven't played with this one, but this might allow more for the desktop to start its own local gateway and the use. And then tools and keys. So if you're doing a brief search, browser use, I think this is very powerful. A lot of use cases I have. And I'm very convinced that increasingly browser use will have to be more popular than it is, just because not every tool is ready to open up to MCP or APIs the way you want it. And at some point, the browser is just going to have to go do the work for us. So having browser use in here, Firecrawl and Tavali for web search is good to see. And then MCP, if you have local MCPs or MCP servers you want to expose to this, that is available in there as well. Now that is the configuration page. You can download or upload the configuration page. I think it's a JSON file or so, just from a version control perspective right here. So go ahead and close that. And if we go back, let me switch over to profiles. So in previous demos, I've talked about the concept of profiles. If you think about as an individual, you might have a profile for your family, you might have your profile for your work, you might have a profile for your business, and those profiles will come with different contexts. So in this case, I mean, with the AI Ready You profile, which is what we've talked quite a bit about. So it will come with the context set for this particular one. Or I might go with my demo profile and it will come with the context, or I think I've created several profiles. We can actually just go ahead and create a new profile. Let's call it demo 5. And I don't want to clone from the default. And in here, you say be smart as an example. And this gives us a brand new profile without the chat history, with us ready to go. And you can set the skills as you need. Now back to the chat session. In here, I think let's allow that. You can come in, obviously do the voice dictation. I'm not going to do that. Alternatively, you can have a voice conversation. I think this is more interactive, back and forth. I haven't tried that as well. And then you'll see your agents that are running here. If you have some agents that have been triggered, those will show up here. You can do cron scheduling in. So almost the things you will have with the Cloud Desktop, you will potentially have that in here. And then setting up your gateway. Now let's come back into this. Hopefully this authenticates for us. Or maybe we try this. You can change the thinking mode as well. It's good thinking. I would say write something about Caesar. Let's do Caesar. Let's see how well this does it. And because I authenticated with my Anthropic key, it will understand Julius Caesar and give us a response. It's actually using an MCP to clarify. I'm not sure what MCP this is. Invoking, and if I do Julius Caesar, now with that clarification, it's working. So very similar to what you will get from your Cloud Desktop or from your Codex Desktop or even the Gemini or Anti-Gravity Desktop. Google is changing quite a things on that side. This is what we've come to expect. With this being more compelling, that You have models from all the providers, whereas with Cloud Desktop, you're limited to just the Cloud models for the most part. And now, what seems to be missing here for me is I'm not impressed with the ability to, let's say, let me try this actually, build a web page for me as a portfolio. The reason why I want to try this is Cloud Desktop is kind of interesting in the way it deals with taking your prompt and building apps interactively for you. I'll be curious if that comes across. And then here you can add files, obviously, adjust your context with prompts and other input. So my guess is it's going to write the HTML. It's the designer creative. It's probably going to write the HTML, but not give you the artifacts the way the Cloud Desktop CLI or Cloud Desktop app does. And then does it have the slash commands? Yes, we do have the slash commands to interact with all the skills as you will typically expect. I love that aspect of it. Let's change the title to Demo 5. And the title for this session has been changed to Demo 5. And still, it's writing, but to me, it doesn't seem to be building an app as such. And you can interestingly branch chat, read them aloud as you go. So I would probably say it's at the infancy, in my opinion, compared to what you would have there, like a Cloud Desktop or a Gemini, with the biggest pro for this being the fact that you have that model optionality that comes with it. And then also the self-learning, which we saw in here as well, where the more you interact with this, it learns and it can suggest and create those skills for you, which is why I think people already are enamored with the Hermes platform to begin with. So hopefully this gives you an idea, a quick look of it. Hermes is extremely popular these days. Having this desktop, I think, would potentially make non-technical people who are not comfortable with CLIs and on official desktop app probably get this installed simply by clicking a download link, installing that. And if you use Mac, and on your Mac, you're capable of launching an app, as such, you can have this available for you to launch and use. So hopefully this gives you a taste. As always, this is through I make video tutorials, showcasing you how to be AI ready. If you found this valuable, share this with somebody that might get value out of it. I will see you in the next demo.